Welcome back to Project Soup Dog. As you guys already know, if you've been watching, we've got our race engine assembled here, and we've been waiting on one critical component, the car. Been stuck at After Hours Automotive for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Brian has been working around the clock to fit this Extreme Dimensions wide body kit on the car, and he had to actually custom modify it to fit over these giant Kinesis rims and Toyo tires. Now, this car here has got about a week before we need to light the match to this thing and be doing smoky, fiery burnouts. So we've assembled a team of talented people who are going to help us out here. We've got Hong Kong Frank, we've got G from Motec, who's going to be in charge of the wiring. Also, this is going to be edited on TV, so we might miss some little things. So we've got Super Street here, who's going to cover the build-up in detail. We've got Rick Daddy in the house, snapping photos all day. It's going to show up in the November issue of Super Street and carry on from there on out. Let's take a look at some of these outrageous products we're going to be putting on this car. And we'll start off with the clutch. The clutch is from Tilton. This is a carbon-carbon unit. It weighs 14 pounds, including the flywheel. It'll hold 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. This is the most winningest clutch on the planet, from Formula One to Le Mans import drag racing. The turbos are from Innovative. They're dual ball bearing units. They're T3, T4 hybrids, including Pro Gates and Inconel heat shields. The brakes are from StopTech. They're 14-inch, 4 pistons all around. They're monstrous. These are proven to be the real deal. The drive shaft is from ACPT. It's made of carbon fiber. It's extremely durable and extremely light. The shocks are from Penske Racing. They're model 8600, 14 by 14 way adjustable with remote reservoir, supported by iBox springs. Penske, as in Roger Penske. Enough said. For engine management and data acquisition, we need something serious, and it is from Motec. The intake manifold is outrageous. This thing is a blend of cutting-edge machining and old-world craftsmanship. The guys over at FabWorks and Team Spencer made this thing from a flat sheet of aluminum and a whole bunch of CNC action. We designed it here at the shop. They built it over there. I can't say enough about it. When you have a car that is as heavy as a Supra, this car is not going to be too light, and when you're going to make as much power that we're going to make, you have really no choice but to put a clutch like this Tilton carbon-carbon on it. The more heat that you put into it, the more heat that it sees, the more that it grips, which is the exact opposite of any other conventional clutch on the planet. And this clutch, this little tiny, little 14-pound assembly can handle 1,200 foot-pounds of torque all day, laugh at it, and do it a whole season without needing to be rebuilt. Before this clutch came along, when we were racing these cars professionally, sometimes we changed 4 or 5 clutches a day. After this thing came out, we could leave it in for 2, 3, 4 weekends, pull it out, inspect it, put it right back in. Now we're moving on to the installation of the StopTech brakes. Now, we hosted the Sport Compact Car Ultimate Street Car Challenge video this last year, and the overall braking winner was a Toyota Supra, and it was using StopTech. So we had found out a little bit more about how they work, and what they do basically is they proportion the brakes for the amount of fluid that your master cylinder actually displaces. So instead of just bolting on a giant brake kit from like a Ferrari or a Porsche, they actually set it up for what your car is able to push through the master cylinder. Anything that works on the racetrack, I'm a happy man with. Rotors are 2-piece, nice and light, but giant at the same time. Racetrack proven. The only way to go. And besides, it looks badass too. We're not up to bleeding the brakes yet, but just as a tip for you guys at home, when you're going to start bleeding your brake system, when you change every brake, you got to make sure, number one, that your master cylinder is pulled up and filled to the top. So pull the top off of it, make sure it's filled. Start with the brake that is farthest away from the master cylinder, that's the passenger side rear, and work your way up as the farthest away, second farthest, third farthest, and then closer to the master cylinder. So that way you get all the air out of the line, and then go and start at the back, and do it again. Make sure that it's dead on. All right. Now these rims are light, they're really good looking, but they're also pretty special too. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Just like everything else on the project car, the rims got to be custom made too. Now we contacted Kinesis, and these guys normally found on Ferraris and Porsches, high-end exotics. They can do pretty much any offset that you want to fit behind any brake setup, or any width that you want up to 13 inches. They can polish the rims to look like this, they can brush them to look like this, or they can do other things in the middle. What we wanted was a black rim that would stand out great against a silver car. So they polished it and anodized it, and it looks smoking. K28 Kinesis, polished, anodized. And this is exciting right here, man. We'll finally get to put the engine in this dog. You know, we put a lot of love into the engine, a lot of really nasty parts into there. It's a really stout piece. You know, all the components in there, the cylinder head, the cams, it's the pistons, the rods, the attention to detail inside the engine. You know, I'm really proud of it, and you know, I can't wait to have this thing make some serious power right here. And just being able to slide this thing into this car today that Brian Kono at After Hours worked so hard, making his body look beautiful. You know, I mean, it's exciting just to be able to drop this thing in here. Because as soon as we get this thing in here, we can start putting accessories on it, turbo header, intake manifold, start running plumbing, start fabricating intercooler pipes. So this is the big one right here. It's a big move. Yo, this looks outrageous, man. We just mocked everything up in here to make sure that it fits, but the real reason we did it is because we needed to see how this is gonna look, and we couldn't wait. Just couldn't wait. Needed to see what the, get an idea what the finished product is gonna look like, and I think it's making me excited, actually. Yeah, I'm indicating north. This looks outrageous. All right, G, we got this thing mocked up here. Now you ready for Motec wiring magic here?
Yeah, we're just gonna size up, verify some lengths on a one-off harness that we already have. Based on the fact we got a lot of one-off components on this, want to make sure we get the fit exact. It's going to be a Taylor handmade harness. All right, so now that we have the turbos mocked up, where do you want to mount the wastegates?
The wastegate actuator is going to be somewhere over here.
Okay, so we can come out of the firewall, route it around here.
Yeah, trick.
Okay, so
keep that simple.
Excellent.
And then the igniters are also going to be over there.
We're going to mount the igniters, as well as we'll run the fan wires down along the frame for the controlling of the fan.
Alternate? No, we're going to go through the top of the alternate?
Right, we're going to run the harness along the back side behind the engine. We'll have transition that hides all the coil wires. We'll come down, hit the alternator, the crank trigger, which the crank trigger is going to be a shielded wire.
Right.
Keep all the noise out. We're going to take the measurements today, go back to Motec and put it on the bench, have a handmade harness, bench tested, guarantee the drop right in, everything will work. We're ready to meet our deadline for next Friday.
Absolutely. You know, these guys at ACPT did a beautiful job on this thing. It's light as hell, too.
Yeah, this thing is bang up looking.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of work to do to make this happen. Lots of sleepless nights. Lots of sleepless nights. We're going to be staying at the shop here, probably. But hopefully next time you see this thing, we're going to be lighting a match to it, and it will be barking and shooting fire. So stay tuned.